Say hi to everybody.
Hi everybody.
Hello. We're back and we're making some cookies again, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yep. So today we're making our version of Grandma Emily's sugar cookies. Frosted sugar cookies. So I have my assistant here with me again. Hello, lovely assistant. You ready to help?
Yeah.
Okay, so for these cookies we have all of our stuff measured out and we're going to mix them up first. So in here, watch those fingers, girl, not yet. In here we have 2 sticks of butter.
I did it, Mommy.
You did it. We have to put all the stuff in here first. Okay, so in our bowl we have 2 sticks of butter. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can use a hand mixer as well, but I always use this. 2 sticks of butter. We have 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. Would you like to dump that in, assistant? Yeah. Okay, right in the bowl here. Lovely. So these are legit the best frosted sugar cookies ever. My grandpa's girlfriend makes these cookies for me every time she sees me, and they're wonderful, and she's wonderful because these cookies they're a labor of love, let's just say that. So I've tried to make them only 2 times, and each time, wait, now we're putting an egg in.
No, wait, Mommy.
Oh, she has to mix first, sorry. Each time I've made them, I probably swore a little bit. So everything has to be just right to make them the proper way. So I told her I was going to rename them to Goldilocks cookies. So I always want these cookies because they're so delicious, but I can't force myself to make them because they're pretty difficult. So I found a way to simplify the making of the cookies, and I'm showing you guys so that everyone can enjoy these cookies at any time. So you're welcome. All right, so in here we have our butter and our powdered sugar. Here we go. Okay, can you add the egg, please?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And lovely. And we're gonna add a little bit of vanilla. Just a little tiny, you know it comes out fast. Perfect. And we're gonna measure, we have vanilla extract and almond extract. So the almond is like that classic sugar cookie flavor, and it's so good, but you don't wanna overdo it with the almond because then it starts to get like a little tart kind of. All right, there we go. Smells so good, right? Ooh, baby. Okay, so we're done with our utensils. Now, let's mix it all up. So this recipe, if you're using a hand mixer, I would say soften the butter a little bit first. When I make cookies, never...
There's a spider, Mommy.
Oh my gosh, there's a spider on here.
And why she's going to red?
Oh my gosh. I never soften the butter before I make cookies because this mixer pretty much softens the butter, warms it up anyway, so I don't mess with that. But if you're doing it by hand, it probably is very helpful to do it with, soften it first. So we're just gonna mix this, all the wet ingredients, for just a minute until they're all combined. You're awesome, high five. Yeah, girl. Look at that, butter, sugar, mixing together. It's looking good. Sorry I don't have a glass bowl so you guys can't see, but I'll show you, don't worry. Right now we're just mixing this together, and then in this bowl here we have 2.5 cups of flour, we have a tablespoon, not yet, a teaspoon of cream of tartar and a teaspoon of baking soda. I'm going to link all of these measurements in the post, so don't worry. You can, sweetheart. It's not ready. We're just going to let it mix for just a minute. The secret to really soft cookies is when you're measuring your flour, don't dump the measuring cup in there. You want to spoon it into the cup and then measure it flat. That way it gives it a nice, very soft cookie instead of a more dense cookie. Tip. And these cookies are like a really soft, fluffy sugar cookie. They're not like the traditional like shortbread, thick, crispy frosted sugar cookies that you usually find. Okay, push it up. Go ahead. I unlocked it. Whoa. And this is my child because she loves butter. Butter and sugar she has to try. Good so far? Very good? Okay. She's double dipping, but these are ours, so don't worry. Okay. Now we're going to add all of our flour in here. Yeah. you need to chill it first before you cut it, or else your cookies are just gonna spread into like one big sheet of cookie. They're not gonna stay in a shape. Now, the traditional recipe for this, you chill it.
Let's try it.
Okay, hold on, sweetheart. I mix this, and I always like to do a couple of spins like real fast just to really incorporate it. I don't know why, that's what I always do. Okay.
Last try.
Oh yeah. So it's like a really thick.
I want to try it.
I will try. Yes. Thank you for asking. So delicious. It's just like so good. Okay. So.
A yummy cookie.
This is exactly how you make this dough. You have to chill it. Now, the traditional recipe has you form it into a ball and then you chill it in the fridge. Then you roll it out and you cut it into shapes. And that's where I have the problem, because I have a hard time with the shapes. Put that back. I have a hard time cutting so many shapes perfectly and getting it the right thickness and everything so that they keep their shape and it doesn't stick to the board when you're cutting. It's like, it's very particular.
Yummy.
That's a lot of dough, but you go for it, girl. Whatever you want. So my hack for making these a simplified version is I'm going to stick them in the freezer, but I'm going to form it into a log so that when it freezes, I'm gonna bring it out. I'm just gonna slice circles from the log. So they're not gonna be pretty shapes, but that's okay. These are for us. If you're going to gift them to somebody, maybe take the extra time to roll them out and cut them into pretty shapes. That's totally fine, but the flavor is the exact same, and this just makes it a lot easier. So let me get a spatula really quick so I can scrape out all of this dough. Okay, and here's what we're working with. All right, so we're going to spoon this out here. What do you think? Delicious? You love it? Me too. All right. So, okay, here we go. You want the spoon? There you go. That's the perks of being the assistant. Oh, you just hit me. Are you okay? Don't choke. You got a lot in your mouth? Okay, be very careful. Okay. Now, we're going to form this into a log here. And see, this is pretty soft already, which is why I don't really soften the butter before I do this. Thank you. I got it, baby. Okay. Now, you're not going to get it perfect, but we're going to roll it up in this saran wrap, and then it's easier to kind of roll it out into a better, nicely neat formed log. So just roll it over like this. Going to twist the sides. Okay. A couple times back and forth, back and forth. Okay. And there you go. So I'm just going to stick it in the freezer, just like that. We have to freeze it first. So see in and out. I'm just going to unwrap this guy. And right now it's frozen solid. But that's what we want, because this is going to make it super easy to cut into little discs, basically. So the edges, the ends are obviously not, they're kind of misshapen a little bit. So we're just going to kind of cut those off. You can totally bake these. This is a good cookie, obviously. But you want to cut these like super thin. And I'm talking like less than 1/4 of an inch if you can. They're not going to spread. You want them to keep their shape. So you're looking for like the thinnest cookie that you can get. Like, this is what you want. Like really thin. So basically, I'm going to, oh, that part broke off. So I'm gonna slice these up. I'm gonna put these, I lightly grease, see, like, this isn't so bad, right? It's okay. It's gonna be delicious. You guys wait and see. I'm gonna put these, I'm gonna cook these for 9 to 10 minutes. on 350. So you want to cook them, you don't want them to stay blonde. You do want the edges to start getting a little bit golden brown and kind of like toasty. So I'm gonna cook all this up. I'm gonna set them aside, let them cool completely before we decorate them, and then I will come back with you guys and we can make these cookies beautiful and we can try them. Okay, we've baked our cookies. They went in the oven for about 9 to 10 minutes on 350. So I frosted a couple of them so she can get started decorating. We have pink and blue sanding sugar. So this is how Grandma Emily always decorates. She does frosting. That's right. And we have sanding sugar to decorate. That's totally optional. You don't have to, but that's the tradition, so we're keeping it going.
They're so
Now,
yummy.
they are so yummy.
Cookies.
You may decorate if you like, okay?
We were cooking really like.
Go for it, whatever you want to decorate. So the cookies, this is what they're gonna look like when they come out. So see, you'd want like a little bit of golden at the bottom. Around when you're baking them, you can see like around the edges that they start to get a little bit golden. So that's what you want. Now, I told you earlier that these are like the most soft, luscious, yummy cookies. So these are crispy when they come out of the oven. Now, for the frosting, before I forget, I'm just using canned frosting. You can definitely make your own frosting if you want to. It's not necessary. Just use this. So you want to just spread, wait till they're completely cool because you don't want the frosting to melt. You want to do a really thin layer over the top, and that's it. And then this frosting will harden so that way you can store them and stack them up and store them in an airtight container. They last for, I would say, easily 4 to 5 days, if they're gonna last that long, because you're probably gonna eat them all in like 2 days. So, now, don't be afraid when you make these and they come out crunchy, because I said they are soft. Now, the first time I made these cookies, I went through the whole process of cutting the shapes and all
I make
that.
a happy cookie.
Beautiful. And when they came out, they were crispy like this. Thought, oh no, I messed them up. How did I do this? I followed the recipe exactly. And so I just went with it. I put the frosting on there, and I was making them for the girl's birthday at school, so I sent them anyway. And I decorated a dozen of them, sent them, and then tossed the rest because I was like, I don't want these. I ruined them. So I was talking to my dad later that day, and I said, I don't know, Dad, do you think when I put the frosting on it, they'll soften up? Think like wishful thinking. And he says, yeah, I don't really think that's how that works. And I said, yeah, me either.
Yeah, because
well, let me tell you,
yummy.
it is how it works. I don't know why whatever's in this frosting makes this cookie soft. So if you're making these cookies, you want to make them the day before and get them all decorated, store them, because the next day when you bring them, everyone's gonna freak out about how delicious and soft and chewy and yummy these cookies are.
Yeah, because they're good and yummy and
they're good and yummy. That is a lot of sprinkles on that cookie.
Yeah. They're yummy.
So, can Mom do one?
Yeah.
Let me do one. There we go. How's that look? Pink and blue. Beautiful. It looks perfect. Thank you so much. Now, here we go. Nice thin cookie. I'm gonna take a bite now because these are so delicious, but I'm gonna save them until later or tomorrow, and then they're gonna be perfect.
Yummy cookies because.
All right.
I'm going to have these.
We're gonna have, okay. All right. Well, thanks guys for hanging out with us. And I know my hack for simplifying Grandma Emily's frosted sugar cookies. So hopefully you make these and you love them just as much as we do. All right. You want to say goodbye?
Yeah, goodbye.
Okay, we'll see you next time.